Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I am your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Marks YouTube channel. You can also check me out on Spotify. However you're listening to me, I appreciate it. I'm talking to you guys 2 days in a row. We talked about the Elimination Chamber on Saturday. And then Monday, I spoke with what happened last week on NXT. I talked about what happened last week with AEW, trying to catch myself up to talking about Monday Night Raw, and I'm also going to talk about New Japan from over the weekend and TNA from over the weekend on this show. So, I'm trying to get you guys more content, quicker content, and I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys enjoy it. It seems like you guys are enjoying it just as much as what I did before, but we're going to keep this experiment going a little bit, just kind of, letting you guys peek behind the curtain of why I'm doing it, what I'm doing. I'm doing lots of stuff. I have a run club at work on Sundays, and I'm preparing for another run club with an outdoor store in Graham, North Carolina on Monday evenings. And I'm starting another company that I really don't even want to talk about yet because it's not getting going. And then I got work as well as training for a marathon and watching tons of wrestling, which is why you guys are listening right now. WWE Raw. The news coming out of Elimination Chamber was that Drew McIntyre had a title shot, and both him and Rollins met face-to-face in the ring. Not much to talk about there, except for Drew acting like he was hurt, saying he might miss WrestleMania, and then kind of turning it around to saying he's not CM Punk. He even sits Indian style, mocking CM Punk. Ouch, man, ouch. He is the guy who injured him. He was the guy who was probably going to face him at Mania. I guess he's the guy who's now taking his spot at Mania. It looked like it was a collision course between Rollins and CM Punk, and now it's a collision course between Rollins and Drew. And for Drew to mock him like this, I guess you could say excellent heel work. How much of this is in the back? That there's no love lost between Triple H and CM Punk over the years. I can see whoever came up with this creative idea, it being passed easily. Maybe not. I'm not sure. It's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. Cody Rhodes versus Grayson Waller in the main event. SmackDown guy on Raw with Austin Theory. Austin Theory jumps up on the apron. Waller gets the upper hand. Cody ducks the clothesline to dive onto Theory. Hits the Cody Cutter. Hits the Crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody's the man. He did a gender reveal at the end of Raw. Even hung out in the ring a little bit. Judgment Day and Imperium face-to-face as well in the ring. Tensions building. Priest getting pissed, having to kind of get pulled apart here as Gunther holds his Intercontinental title up. So will Priest cash in his title shot, his Money in the Bank, to get the Intercontinental title? I'm not sure. Maybe. It looks like that might be what he's doing. Gunther just standing strong, holding the title up. I wouldn't mind seeing this at all. But that's not all we saw of Judgment Day. Becky out there, Rhea, and Dom comes out. Dom kind of talking for Mommy until the catchphrases come in. You got to love that. This is good here. But as things are wrapping up, Nia Jax attacks Becky Lynch. I don't like this at all. This hints at a triple threat match at Mania. We don't need Nia at Mania. We don't need Nia in this feud at all. Why does she attack Becky when Rhea is the one who beat her on Saturday? Anyways, I'm not even really following what she's even mad at Becky Lynch for. This seemed random. It seemed like they were trying to, create some kind of triple threat. Hopefully not. Hopefully they're just using this to bide some time before Mania, because I don't want to see Nia Mania. Nia versus Liv later on in the evening. Just in case anyone needed to go to the bathroom in San Jose. Becky attacks Nia, ending the match, and like I said, this isn't looking good. I don't know. Well, I think I'm a little hard on Nia at times. We'll see where this goes. She seems to be okay since she came back. New Day versus Imperium. We had the hype video. Let's go. This hyped me up. This feud doesn't need any PLEs. It's all building on Raw, from Raw. I'm hyped. New Day versus Imperium. Kendo sticks, chairs, elbows from the top through a table to the floor by Xavier Woods. Back in the ring, 1, 2. Kaiser pulls the ref out like a jerk. Vinci then puts Kofi through a table. Wax Woods with the chair. 1, 2. They hold the tights. They get the 3. Imperium gets the win. Nakamura and Sami Zayn, a rematch from TakeOver Dallas about 8 years ago. Love seeing these two wrestle. Nakamura can't put Sami away. Helluva kick. 1, 2. Sami Zayn gets the victory in a solid match. Raquel Rodriguez whoops the shit out of Chelsea Green. 1 with a Tahila bomb. 1, 2, 3. Candice and Indy versus Zoe and Shayna. Zoe and Shayna win. They're trying to get their hands on the Kabuki Warriors, which I do think the Kabuki Warriors are at another level than these two teams. Just saying. The Rock will be at SmackDown in Arizona. Apparently, the show is already sold out. The Rock made waves last time he was on SmackDown. He went back to The Rock. He's no longer smiling for the cameras trying to run for president, Dwayne Johnson. He is The Rock at 98. He is the leaving the oh man, I'm blanking on the name. Leaving the with Farouk and D'Lo and Mark Henry, the Nation of Domination. He's leaving the Nation of Domination, and he's now corporate Rock again, but he's Bloodline Rock. And Heyman was out there on the phone, not only talking to the tribal chief, but he had 2 phones. I remember I watched the MTV Diaries of P. Diddy, and I thought, and it was like in 2001, and Diddy had 2 phones. And since then, I've been really impressed by people that have 2 phones, even though now currently I know dozens of people who have a work phone and a regular phone. It's still a weird flex, in my opinion, to have 2 phones. I mean, just get 1 phone and you can do everything, I don't know. Heyman's got 2. 1 to talk to The Rock because it's got the Brahma Bull logo, and 1 to talk to the tribal chief because that's what we know he does on that. That was Monday Night Raw. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I also enjoyed TNA. I only watched the main event because it had Mustafa Ali debuting. But let's run down the card here. I'll give you guys my overall thoughts on the results. The Rascals defeat Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. I bet that was a good match. Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers defeat Kevin Knight and Kushida. Oh, man. Kevin Knight looked like he was doing, big things, signing with New Japan. I thought he was going to do big things, and now here he is on the Countdown special, losing in a tag match. I mean, Kushida, he did his thing in New Japan, but I feel like Kevin Knight's job wasn't done. I don't know. He raw athleticism, I will say that about that man. Then the TNA World Title Contenders match. Frankie Kazarian versus Eric Young. It says here the winner is Eric Young, so he might get a title shot. Then we had the TNA World Tag Team Championship. We had the ABC versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. The Grizzled Young Veterans, of course, made their way over to TNA from NXT. They were getting a lot of hype in 2020. Something fell off. They really weren't into the character they were doing. They asked for their release. A few months later, they got their release, and now they're getting their asses whooped by the ABC, the American Bullet Club. PCO versus Khan. Speaking of NXT, Khan, one of the first ever tag team champions in NXT, and PCO wins by DQ. So probably some crazy shit happened there between those two. The Knockouts World Tag Team Championship, the Decay versus MK Ultra. MK Ultra are the new women's tag team champions. And then we had Josh Alexander versus, this is interesting, I almost watched this one, Simon Gotch. Simon Gotch, of course, formerly of the Vaudevillains, and then he went to MLW, and then he went to Noah, and I don't really want to say a standout, but I always enjoyed watching him wrestle when he was in these other promotions. He never really rested on his laurels. He's always seemed to pop up, and here he is popping up in TNA, and lost to Josh Alexander, which Josh Alexander is one of the main guys they push here, so that's not a big deal to lose to Josh. And then we had the TNA World Championship match. Moose versus Alex Shelley. And Moose retains his title. I think this is a rematch here, last pay-per-view. I remember this match. Moose is a good champion. Moose, as they say, passes the airport test, passes the eye test. If you see Moose walk in like he does in his suits, you know that he's some kind of athlete, and he was an athlete. He was in the NFL, and now he's the world champion in TNA. But we also, had Jordynne Grace, and don't tell Rick Steiner, Giselle Shaw, and Jordynne Grace retains her title. But this was all to set up the main event: Chris Sabin versus Mustafa Ali for the X Division title. I love this title. This title is super prestigious. It's everything that any incarnation of the WWF or WWE Cruiserweight or Light Heavyweight Championship has never been. It's prestigious. It can main event a pay-per-view. It's designed. It says, back in the day, they said it's not about weight limits. It's about no limits. But it is kind of a Light Heavyweight Cruiserweight Championship. Ali, with a, kind of doing his campaign. Notes of Trump here, as he says he wants to make the X Division great again. Looks to be a bit of a heel, but people want Ali to win this one in this crowd in New Orleans. I mean, New Orleans is the same place where he wrestled Cedric Alexander at WrestleMania 34, so they're no stranger to cheering on Ali here. They seem to want, the new champ, Sabin, in control, kind of until Ali hits a 450 on the arm, locks in an STF. Sabin fires back, and then Sabin locks in a crossface of his own, really pulls back here, dodges Ali, sending him into the turnbuckle. Ali, hits the turnbuckle pretty aggressively here. Ali then spills to the floor. Sabin dives on these Secret Service-like security guards that Ali has out there. And then the good hands come out there. Hotch and John Skyler. Always good to see John Skyler. Ricky Roberts on Monday Night Raw, and now here he is, a good hand in TNA. I'm not insulting the man. That's the tag team's name. They are all in Ali's camp. Sabin takes them out, lands a cradle shot, 1-2. No, Ali kicks out. The crowd is behind Ali here. They don't give a fuck that he's having multiple men interfere in this thing. 450 from Ali, 1-2-3. Mustafa Ali wins the X Division title. Does he make it great again? We will see. Does he make TNA great again? Okay, so TNA changed their name to TNA. Went back to TNA. And I thought they were having a lot of momentum here, but all the momentum they had was based on this Booker, Scott D'Amore. But then they let Scott D'Amore go. So they changed their name back to TNA. They let the head Booker go. And now they're putting the title, one of the most prestigious titles, on a former WWE guy. I don't know. We'll see where this goes. I like Ali. I like where TNA is going. I like Moose and Jordynne Grace as the other champions. I'm going to keep watching. I don't know. We'll see where this goes here. But that's not all the wrestling that I watched this weekend. I watched New Japan from February 23rd. Let's just go over some of these results here. We had Tamiya and Toriano defeated Kato and Hanma. We had Zack Sabre Jr. defeat Yuji Nagata. House of Torture defeat Oleg. Oleg Bolton, he's a young lion who looks to be going places. He's got the look. He passes the airport test, as I said Moose does, Taguchi and Makabe in a losing effort. But look out for Oleg. Chaos, featuring Okada, defeating the United Empire. Los Ingobernables de Japón defeat Just Five Guys. And we had the IWGP Women's Champion, Maiwa Iwate, defeating Mina Shakawiya. The Junior Heavyweight Champion, Sho, defeating El Desperado. The Never Openweight Champion, Evil, with Dick Togo, defeating Shota Umino. And the match that we're going to talk about, a few of the matches we're going to talk about, the two main events, Matt Riddle fighting El Presidente Tanahashi. This is Matt Riddle's debut in New Japan proper. He was on New Japan Stateside, New Japan Strong, and this is for the TV Championship match, so the 15-minute time limit here. He popped his flip-flops flying in the crowd. This got a little pop from New Japan. Action going quick here with the TV title on the line. 15-minute time limit. Spills to the floor. In the ring, going back to the floor as Riddle hits a springboard twisting bro from the apron to the outside. Tries to do it again in the ring, but Tanahashi gets his knees up, neck and neck here, and then Matt Riddle hits a tombstone. 1, 2, 3. Matt Riddle beats the president of New Japan, a legend, for the TV title. A WWE guy coming to New Japan and winning the title, cool, whatever. We know this is going to happen. But Matt Riddle winning the TV title, I think, fits into his style with the 15-minute time limit. Zack Sabre Jr. having this title last year, almost the entire year, and Tanahashi beating him, being that transitional champion. I feel like this title, has a good 2024 lined up. Riddle versus Zack Sabre Jr. might happen, and which would probably be a pretty good feud. But the main event, another WWE guy, Nick Nemeth, formerly Dolph Ziggler, versus David Finlay for the Global Championship. Finlay tries to bring the brawl down to a pace that he likes. Ziggler fighting back, but seems to start to feel the wear and tear of the matchup here at the 5-minute mark. Nemeth back in control, drops an elbow and getting a 2 count. Finlay going after the leg of Nemeth, even dropping him on the guardrail, leaving him to beat the 20 count. Back in the ring, locking in a leg lock. Nemeth struggling to get to the ropes. Nemeth struggling. Nemeth slowly firing back here, wearing out Finlay. He's really showing the effects of the Famouser. 1, 2, 3. Ziggler wins. So Ziggler is now the IWGP Global title holder. Ziggler cutting a promo in the ring, putting over the new title. He will defend this title anywhere, anytime, he says. And these titles are both new, so it does mean a lot to put him on the new guys here, because I think a new title going on a guy who's like a mainstay in New Japan really doesn't create a lot of buzz. People really don't. It takes the first few champions to really solidify a title, and I think these two guys are hungry to prove themselves in Japan, so they will have these great matches, and also these great matches are going to have more eyes on them than if it was on a mainstay regular in New Japan. So I feel like these two new titles going on these two new guys is great for everyone involved. I like it better than it going on, them beating like Naito or something like that. I feel like that would be a little bit much, but I digress, because that wasn't the biggest New Japan show. The next day they had a New Japan show, and it was Okada's last show. But let's give you guys some results here. We had kind of similar shit from the day prior. Tamoya and Yano defeat Murashima and Hanma. We had El Desperado, Oleg, Shota Umino, and Makabe and Yo defeat House of Torture. Chaos, which is Chaos versus the United Empire, which is Okada's last match in New Japan. So it was like the third match on the show. It was wild to see. So yeah, Okada, Yano, Ishii, Goto, and Yoshihashi versus Matt Riddle, Francesca, Akira, Jeff Cobb, Hanare, Grado Khan, and Newman. This guy Newman. Why is this random 10-man tag his last match? Because it's the end of the tour. He wanted to finish the tour. It'd be kind of weird him wrestling Tanahashi in the middle of the tour and just riding the bus all along the rest of the way. This is Okada's last match in New Japan before he leaves. Looks like he's going to AEW. It's sad to see him go. United Empire, a faction without a leader now that Ospreay is gone. They come out they come out, whatever. Chaos comes out. They announce his name, and then the crowd just chants it for a bit as he stands on the turnbuckle. The realization is setting in a bit for me. Bell rings, and Matt Riddle's across from Okada. This might be the only time we will ever see this. It was a multi-man tag in New Japan, It was nothing. It was fun, but it was nothing crazy. Rainmaker to the newbie, Colin Newman, and then his music hits and it sets in for me. Chaos members surrounding him. You can see him fighting back tears. Chants start as he gets the mic. I don't know what he said, but I don't speak Japanese, but I'm sure it was good. He is smiling as he goes up the ramp with Yoshihashi and Goto. They're all locking arms, and then they stand tall at the ramp. I mean, holy shit. I mean, I started watching New Japan in 2015. So when I first tuned in, I mean, he lost to Tanahashi in the Dome, and then he beat Tanahashi in the Dome, and then he kind of solidified himself with those, big matches, feuding with Omega and then Naito. And then Jay White for like 9 years. He's synonymous in my eyes with New Japan, and as much as I want to see him week to week or whatever on AEW, I worry because they've brought in a lot of guys and they've done a lot of stuff with a lot of guys, some good, some bad. It doesn't always work out in AEW as far as maybe how I see people and where I see them on the card and where they end up in AEW. But I'm going to let it play out. And we also had the Guerrillas of Destiny beating the Guerrillas of Destiny. That's right, El Phantasmo and Hikuleo defeated Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. And this was also Tama Tonga's last match in New Japan. He looks like he's going to go to WWE. And he's kind of a WWE guy. He had the old face paint. Back when the Bullet Club first started, Tama Tonga would come out with this face paint, and Finn Balor and Luke Gallows would have this wild man, this slow-moving, methodical wild man. And Tama Tonga has since, evolved and grown into this, I would say, this Iron Man, for lack of a better word, in New Japan. And also his look, his gimmick, kind of has this Iron Man feel. But he went back to the basics here, back to the original stuff in his last match. It's not as sad to see him go as Okada, but it is kind of interesting. Two guys that I never thought would leave are now gone. Namath and Taguchi defeated David Finlay and Gato. Bushi defeated Taka Michinoku. Dookie defeated Hiromu Takahashi. That surprises me right there. Tai Chi defeats Shingo Takagi. And we had the hair versus hair match. So this is pretty interesting here. These two guys, young lions at the same time. So they came up together. And now they're fully evolved here. They are full, they've done the excursions. They've come back. They look like superstars, and they got nice hair, both of them. A nice head of lettuce, as they say in the hockey world. I saw these guys come from young lions, and now they have full fucking mane. I don't know who's going to win this one, but Yuya Mura comes out looking like a dude who is about to get his head shaved when he's got a nice head of lettuce. He's got the poo-poo face, as they say. Sometimes I feel like you can tell who's going to lose by who comes out happiest. And we'll talk about that a little later. Yota Tsuji taking Japan to Larryland, stalling on the outside, controlling the pace, and locks in a Boston Crab. Yuya answers with a dropkick, both men down, and then he goes after the arm of the bigger wrestler here. Tsuji gets the upper hand and locks in a Boston Crab maneuver, but both feet are under one arm here. This is very interesting. Yuya breaks free. This is interesting so far. So the larger guy is controlling the pace, locking and holds, where the smaller guy with explosive offense, like more powerful offense, I would say, and then he's working over the arm, not chopping the tree down, as they say. Top rope Spanish fly from Tsuji, German from Yuya, both men down. They get forearms, boom, applied, both men down again. Tsuji now being the stereotypical big man, scoop slams, but Yuta hits a backdrop and goes up top, no one home, curb stomp, Michi driver, 1-2, Yuya kicks out again, cutter from Yuya, spear from Tsuji, 1, 2, 3, Yoda wins, Yuya loses his hair. The only other time I saw a hair versus hair match in New Japan, Minoru Suzuki lost, and he grabbed the clippers and he shaved his own head, And that the same thing happened here. Yuya Uemura, after getting one streak down his head, the realization of the trimmers sets in, and he kind of does like 2 or 3 trimmers, 2 or 3 streaks down his head, but a lot of it was still up there. He looked kind of ridiculous as he like stormed off, upset, nearly crying over losing these locks. Just a few streaks though. Yeah, looked goofy as hell. Hopefully they clean that up. But the hair versus hair, man. I mean, it doesn't hit like a mask versus mask in Mexico, but it fucking hits. Tsuji, before he went to the back, started jaw-jacking with Okada on commentary, and it's like, dude, the dude's leaving, man. You ain't getting your match. I don't know what you're setting up here for. I don't know what you're saying to Okada. But the match we did get was Naito versus Sanada, a rematch of Wrestle Kingdom, the main event, the IWGP World Heavyweight title on the line. The leader of LIJ took Sanada under his wing in 2015-2016. Sanada had to lead the faction, though, to lead his own faction to win the IWGP title, only to lose it to his former leader in the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. Sanada locks in the Paradise Lock early. Goofiest hold in wrestling. DDT draping Sanada's legs over the apron before hitting it. Stays on the outside, applying a submission hold, wearing him out on the outside. Naito is back in the ring. Sanada gets in control, going after the leg, goes for a moonsault. Naito with his knees up goes for a Destino. Sanada cuts him off. Goes for a Shining Wizard. Naito ducks. Enziguri from Naito. Forearm from Sanada. TKO. Goes for the moonsault again. Lands it. 1-2. Naito kicks out. Lands another one. Naito lands a Destino. Goes again. Can't land it. DDT. Sanada cartwheels out. Hits a Shining Wizard to Naito's back, rather, and then hits a traditional Shining Wizard to his front face. DDT from Naito out of nowhere. Roll up, 1, 2, 3. Naito gets the victory here, but it feels like he kind of stole one here. It feels like the guy who out wrestled his opponent in this match was Sanada, but the guy who won this match was Naito, which is pretty interesting because I would say in the Dome, Naito won handedly. This feud ain't over, folks. It's simply just getting interesting, in my opinion. Outsmarting his former protege is Naito, and he gets the title for at least one more show. Confetti falls, Naito celebrating, and then Okada gets in the ring. Naito wants to do the LIJ fist bump in the air. Okada goes for it. Naito kicks him in the gut. They have a quick exchange, and then they think better of it. They smile at each other. It's like the rivalry turned into respect as Okada leaves the promotion for good. And then in the back, Sho, the IWGP Junior Champion, waiting for Naito in the back. They have a bit of an argument during this press conference to set up this match that's happening in a week or so. Wrestling is crazy, man. As silly as it is, if you watch it consistently, it sneaks up on you. It pulls this emotion out of you. Okada leaving New Japan really made me sad. It makes me sad to think about. Seeing him stand on that top turnbuckle before the match and seeing him have that exchange with Naito, having me realize that that was the last time we might see something like that. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania made me reflect on like my entire life. I've been watching Sami Zayn and trying to get people to watch Sami Zayn when he was El Generico when I was like a sophomore in high school on YouTube and stuff like that. And I'm sure Sting retiring this weekend at Revolution is going to bring out some kind of feels that I didn't know I had in me. I will be there live. I will give you my predictions next episode. Fly high. I'm out.